What it do? Stay blessed or say less. It's your boy King Finesse. We are here with another video. Today we finna watch Madden 23 versus Madden 22 side by side. Now understand this. I actually tried to play Madden 23, and because I have it on the old gen console on Xbox One, the bodies look real funny. Like, I don't know why, but when I first played the first game, like AFC versus NFC, the body proportions were just crazy, like all over the place. We're talking like the shoulders were fat, the thighs were big. I'm like, the head was small. I'm like, why? Okay, so for example, why is Marcus Allen so huge? And I'm like, who's behind? Because I had the AFC. But I'm like, who is that guy, number 32? Why is he so big? So we're gonna listen to Eric Gray with us, comparison with Madden 22 and 23. Now I want to say, like I said, it's probably because of the either the next gen consoles or the game itself. Let's check it out.
In this video, we're going to take a look at Madden 23 Next Gen versus Madden 22 Next Gen. And for those that want to know the differences between Madden 23 on the newer consoles and Madden 23 on the older consoles, I'll be doing that video tomorrow, so make sure to subscribe.
Bro, exactly. This is what I'm talking about. Who is this? Aaron Jones? Who? I don't know. Dylan? Something Dylan. I think Corey Dillon's. Yeah. So look, when I played it, I was like, why didn't they transfer the same thing on next gen over to Xbox One? But I mean I think that's Xbox or the next gen consoles telling us to get the next gen consoles, because they're going to stop doing these high quality and new detailed players and AIs and stuff.
Turn the bell on so you don't miss that video. But today we're showing the differences between last year and this year's, like players who finally got their face scans, players who got updated face scans, some of the rookie face scans that are in the game, and some other features, presentation, and gameplay related differences. Up first is the pre-game presentation. On the left is Madden 22 and on the right is Madden 23. Now they're very similar, but Madden 23 did add these pre-game cinematics.
Yeah, those pre-game jumps was tough.
Kind of a primetime game, Sunday Night Football feel, where they're in the studio with the cinematic up-close shots, and then after that it's going to cut to the on-field stuff. And once you get to the on-field stuff, it is very similar to last year. You will see a lot of the same things that they did last year. They updated the pregame last year a pretty good bit, so they carried that over and just added some tweaks to it with the cinematics.
Okay, so quick thing. I noticed that a lot of these players are a lot smaller than Madden 22. Now, I don't know if this is on purpose, but I don't know if this is really how they really dress in NFL. Like, they're extremely small. Like, they look small.
Different cut scenes on the field here or there. They definitely added a few new ones, but
like, don't get me wrong,
the or anything like they did last
year.
They
made their point on the uniforms, but
things like that, which you always
some of these quarterback shoulder pads aren't that small. I mean, Aaron Rodgers, yeah, I can see, but the line, man, it's like it is true as far as how they wear their jerseys now, but I don't know.
You can see they still have the next gen stats. They just show different angles of some of the things, so not
they look
really like
little.
anything brand new, but not the exact same as last year, if that makes sense. But overall, I think the pregame presentation still looks good. What they did last year was good, so just keep building on it. That's what I expect. You don't have to completely overhaul something each year, but add something to it, make it a little bit different, and just keep making it better and better as each year goes on. Now let's look at some players who finally got their face scans in the game. AJ Terrell had the generic face scan last year. Now he's finally got his real face in the game, one of the top players in the league, and the same goes for Trayvon Diggs here, one of the guys that kind of took over the league for a little bit last year. I think his player model looks really, really good. They did a good job on his. Darnell Mooney finally getting some respect on his name. Glad to see that. You got AJ Dillon again on the left, Madden 22 generic face scan on the right, actual face scan in Madden 23, and I think they're scanning bodies now.
Now, I'm not gonna lie, this is what convinced me to get the next gen console. I literally just bought one today, mainly because of this, like the uniforms. Like, this is extremely interesting, man. Like, they did their thing, man. Like, now when I played it was so weird, bro, on the Xbox One. Like, they were built so dang big, it's ridiculous. Now
But I
they're
think they're
doing such
scanning
different
bodies
things.
now too, because a lot of the body types look much different this year. As you'll notice, we've got Daryl Henderson here, but notice the body types, notice the pads of the players as well, how they're more slimmed down and not so bulky. Jason Kelsey is a good example. Notice how last year a lot of the big guys, the guys in the trenches, had the same bodies as everybody else, just slightly altered. Now you can see they have like better looking, more accurate bodies to what they look like. Now we got some players that got updated face and body scans. Cooper Kupp got a nice overhaul here, one of the best players in the league last year, so you got to get him up to date, make him look right. Justin Jefferson as well, not a crazy difference, but his face and his hair, they just made it a little bit better.
Help me understand this.
It's definitely,
If they're going to do these face scans, why don't they just do that to everyone in the league? I understand this is more about who's important and like who got the most clout, but still, like, just like the maybe like 2 or 3 people before, it was dude with locks, and like you had a completely different face scan. You didn't even try to face scan him.
up from what he was last year. Derwin James, kind of the same thing. Looked good last year. He got a big update last year, but they just kind of tweaked it and made it a little more accurate this year, which is what you want to see. Now we got some rookies up first. Garrett Wilson. Keep in mind, the far majority of the rookies are not scanned in the game yet. Their faces and even their bodies for some of the players aren't quite as accurate as they should be, which in my opinion is a big disappointment. That's one of the biggest things about the new game, is all the new rookies coming in. It seems like lately EA has been getting most of those guys in within the first update or two, but not all of them in at launch, which again is disappointing. But here are a few guys that are currently in the game that you can look at. Now let's look at some Super Bowl presentation. This is kind of similar to last year as well, but just like the regular pregame presentation, you get that here in the Super Bowl with the cinematics. You got the Lombardi Trophy for the Super Bowl, which is a nice little touch. Gives it more of a big game feel.
Now that's what I don't agree with. It literally makes, like, they made Brady look like he has on just a shirt. He has shoulder pads. I think what he had in Madden 22 was a lot better than this one right here, because it literally doesn't look like he has anything
even more
on.
Appropriate in a game like the Super Bowl. I believe even in the AFC Championship and NFC Championship games, they show the AFC and NFC Championship trophy instead of the Lombardi Trophy in the pregame. Just a nice little touch, but they probably could do even a lot more with this when you're talking about playoffs and Super Bowl. They could definitely make the presentation way better for this than they have. So after the cinematic stuff,
I don't think all the linemen have
have
short sleeves though. This is what I'm not agreeing with this.
And show some stuff from some different angles to make it look a little bit different. But again, something that probably does need even more love put into it than it has. But this is the side-by-side. And then we got the Super Bowl winning celebration. Now we know that for years we had the same celebration, and then last year, for NextGen only, mind you, they finally changed it. And well, this year we got the same one as last year. So now we're probably right back in that same cycle where we're going to have the same celebration. Hopefully for not 5 years this time. Maybe just 2 years. Maybe next year they'll change it. But as you can see, I mean, side by side, it's pretty much identical. They might show a couple of things from some different angles, like right here, to make it maybe look different. But I mean, it's the same thing. So maybe next year they'll change this. They finally changed it last year. I think this is something that could be updated every year. It can't be that much work to just update this every year.
It ain't really like too much to go about as far as the Super Bowl, man. And I say this because not a lot of people really play the Super Bowl, and it's like it ain't much to do about that. Like, you're really just playing all the way up until like you make it there, and then once you play it there, it's really the same things. A lot of people are playing just to play, like they're playing online against each other. So Super Bowl celebrations, I don't
now
really
let's
have
look
too
at
much
the running side by side. It seems like this year they made the game a little bit faster, which I don't really mind, but you can see they're constantly tweaking the player movement in the running. It's never the exact same year to year. You will notice the spin, however, they definitely kind of slowed the spin down. The spin last year was super fast and glitchy. They have slowed that down and made it a little more realistic this year, so you're not just glitching out the defense. And also just take note that they actually updated practice jerseys for every team. They don't wear the full in-game jersey, but they wear the practice version of the jerseys, with the QB having the different color jersey, and most of the jerseys don't have names.
Does that really matter though?
So
I mean, I guess
a nice little touch. I like it. Now let's take a look at the new passing system briefly. So this is a good way that I could showcase the differences. This is a cover 2, and we've got Adams running down the sideline, and watch how I can free form pass and lead this more to the outside, and then he can break off his route and kind of drift to the ball, and I'm able to put this away from the safety in a cover 2.
Yeah, this is all about timing. If you're able to time the throw, like, because you were already able to aim the throw when it comes to throwing the ball, but Now that you can actually see a cursor. I don't know how fast or slow the cursor will be, so it really just depends on the quarterback.
Now last year, I'm leading the ball as far as it can go, and that's as far as it's going to go. I cannot lead this outside of the safety. This is where I can put it every time. So the new passing system now allows you to make throws you couldn't before. When you're in the end zone, you can make proper fades at the back pylon. You can put the ball away from defenders, and the ball isn't just tied into one specific predetermined spot. Let's jump into
This is probably going to be the reason why cover 2 will be the worst coverage in the game. Because if we're making people throw to the far end corner, we're talking constant seams on the sideline. Let them notice that there's a press in the corner, and let the safety be on the inside. Because I think one thing they need to change is the safeties are going to stay outside, inside, or over top. Because I only notice that they keep the zone distances with the curl flat people or the flat people. They don't do that with the safeties for some reason, nor do they do that with the hook people. When it comes to the safeties, when you're in cover 2, you should be able to either have them outside, over top, or inside. But it's pretty weird how they have it set up now. Like I said, if they don't notice this, if EA doesn't notice this, I want to say it's going to become a huge problem, because people are just going to keep tweaking the scene and start using that to their advantage.
Franchise mode here is Madden 22's franchise layout. For Madden 23, it's going to be pretty much the exact same. It's some different colors. They said they streamlined some of the activities weekly, but basically the same. They overhauled it last year, so wasn't really expecting them to make any crazy changes to it this year. Now, free agency is where there's a big overhaul. So this is Madden 22's free agency. You can literally pretty much pick up any guy here you want. It's not too hard. If you got money, you can sign who you want, and that's basically the gist of it. There was no real challenge here. Here's Madden 23's free agency. Notice the interest bar. Some players you flat out can't obtain, others you might be able to convince, and there's some in the green that you should easily be able to get. It all goes based on their motivations and if your team meets what they're looking for now. Jumping back to Madden 22, this is the contract system. Not too much here. You just make the offer you want to make, not much customization to it. That's it. Make the offer. They're probably going to accept it. Now this year, you have some new presets where you got player friendly, you've got very player friendly, you can do custom offers, you got team friendly, and you've got neutral. All come with their pros and cons, and you can still make your own custom offer if you want, but this just gives you more of an idea of how to go after these players and what the likelihood of signing a player is.
Still to this day, I don't really understand those aspects. Like, I really just turn it off. Like, I turn the salary cap off.
Jumping back over to Madden 22, notice when you pull up a player's card, there's no tab for motivations or tags. Now, motivations and tags were added to Madden 23. Now, jump into Madden 23, you will see there's a tab for motivations and tags. Motivations let you know what a player cares about, and the impact bar lets you know where your team stands with them. This lets you know if you have a good chance of keeping that player or how much of a chance you have to sign a player in free agency. And then on the right, you have player tags. These can be different for any player. Some players don't have any at all. Some players have multiple, but this just helps with the team building process.
It really
for
looks
example,
like
if you have a franchise QB, the computer of that team will not try to obtain another QB until he falls off. Up next, we're going to look at the weather. On the left is Madden.
Dude, okay, see, that's what I'm talking about. Brady on the left looks more real than the Brady on the right. Brady has never worn a shirt like that. Like, he doesn't look like that. But like I said, they did a good job with the way the bodies look now, because Madden 23 on the Xbox One sucks. Like, the bodies just look so disproportionate.
On the right is Madden 23. Also, there's a new scoreboard in the game for those who care about that, but weather still looks about the same. They updated this in Madden 21 and it's remained the same. Also, notice the player numbers. They kind of they're wrinkled and scrunched up now. I guess they're trying to make the jerseys look more realistic, but I don't know. I kind of like the way it looked last year. Let me know what you think. And here we have the snow. It looks the same for both games. They haven't really updated this since Madden 21. It's pretty much identical. And here we have some side-by-side gameplay from the broadcast view. Now, some people like to watch broadcast games. Yes, some people just like to do that. I personally don't like to do that, but I know some people do, especially in franchise mode at times. So this is just kind of the side-by-side view of what you get when you look at the broadcast camera. I don't think anything has changed here. It looks about the same to me, but just want to be thorough and just show you what everything is looking like. Now, if you want to know even more about Madden 23, make sure...
Yeah, I mean, this is extremely interesting. Like I said, I'm excited for Madden 23. They haven't done bad with the animations. Like, when I played on the Xbox One, the animations were pretty realistic. Like, No more morph tackling. The tackling is definitely a lot harder. No more morph interceptions, being able to strip through the body and be able to pick them off out of nowhere and stuff. No more of the insane crossing routes, because the crossing routes is still kind of iffy, just a little bit, but they're getting better at it. But hey, comment down below what you like about this Madden 23. Shout out to Eric Wayweather for creating these videos. It's your boy King Finesse. We out of here, man.